So the more you're in rooms with different people, are you the kind of songwriter that's kind of picking up little tidbits from folks
Oh
along the
yeah,
way, kind of sponging off of people and then using that later?
absolutely. I never stop learning. I think that's the biggest mistake that any, not just artist, any person in general can make is thinking you know everything, man. I've spent the past three. I've been in town now for about 3.5 years, and that's another reason not to get discouraged. They call it a tenure town, and people look at me all the time and they go, "Man, you've only been here for 3.5 years. Look at how far you've come in just 3.5 years." And I'm like, I know, but sometimes I wake up and I don't feel like it. You know what I mean? Sometimes
Yeah,
I wake up
yeah.
and I feel discouraged, but
And the
then,
thing is, it was a 10-year town before the internet. I think it's
amen, brother.
sped up a little bit since the advent of the
I
internet.
hope so.
I think it's more like a 7-year town now, if I'm
Yeah,
keeping it honest.
I
Uh,
hope so, man.
are you the kind of writer that's kind of in tune with your surroundings at all times? Kind of got
Yeah,
your fishing pole with you at all times and is pulling.
absolutely, absolutely. So I enjoy. I've seen a funny interview of Hank Jr. talking about he doesn't like to co-write, and this was years ago. He said, "I don't get in a room with people and try to write a song." And the fact of the matter is you have to do that if you want to write consistently and write a lot of songs. You have to do that. But I get what he means. I love to be out on a creek bank and a song come to me, or be in a bar and overhearing somebody's conversation and they'll say something real catchy and I'll write that down. Or
Mhm.
a lot of times what will happen is I'll be playing a show and an audience member will come up and say something to me and it'll sound like a song, and man,
Yeah.
I'll write that down real fast. That's happened to me quite a few times. So I am very aware of my surroundings. That's probably the main way that I come up with hook ideas, is just in conversation, listening
Yeah.
to people
I was
talk.
just gonna say, Bernie Nelson told me that conversation is lyrics to him.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely,
Yep.
100%.
And I love that because like a lot of you songwriters, man, like when we're just talking, you're hearing melodies behind shit, and
Absolutely.
that's crazy to me to
Oh,
think in those
my wife will
terms.
be my wife will say something and I'll be like, hold on a second, just one second, and I'll be
Yeah,
typing over here, and I'll be like, okay, what did you say?
I love that, man. So as part of your process for choosing, like, who was it that I think it was Jesse Robb told me he had A songs and B songs. And there were several different ways for him to know which was which. And so for you with your A songs, are you maybe on the fence about certain songs, and then is part of your process like trying them out on a live audience to see
Yes.
the
Yeah,
reaction?
that's one thing that I just recently have really figured out, that the best way to tell if a song is any good or not is to go out and play it.
Yeah,
And if you go out and play it and people are like, "Oh, I really like that one," so okay, play it again. And some crowds will be more receptive, depending on what kind of song is. If you've got a rowdy crowd and you play a ballad to them, even if it's a really good ballad, they just might not be in the right mindset to hear something like
right.
that, right?
Yeah.
But if you play a barn burner for a rowdy crowd and they go, "Man, that song's great," you're on to something. So I've recently started to do that. That was one of the reasons I cut She Misses Being Misses, because almost every time I would play that out, people would stop and they would really listen. And no, that's a great way to do it. That's just about the only way to do it, is to go out and really play them. And then you can also make changes to them. You go out and you play a song, and hey, this is a great song, but this one line's not hitting the right way. You know what I mean? So
Are the
I'll spin.
members of your band helping you with that as well? Kind of.
The guys in my band learn songs usually after they come out. They'll learn my songs usually after they come out. I don't. My guitar player and I have co-written some stuff together, but man, they play so many shows. Not just with me. They're busy making a living, man. So they don't always
Yeah.
get to write. But I would like to have somebody who plays music with me like that and helps me write songs, man. That's always a good thing. But usually, just songwriters are the people I usually hang out with, and that's two different crowds, man. A lot of people don't understand.
Mm-hmm.
Players are players, and songwriters are songwriters usually. And I'm stuck somewhere in the middle.
Yeah, there's a select few that are both for sure,
Yeah, I'm
but
stuck.
yeah.
I'm stuck somewhere in the middle, man.
Mm-hmm.
Because I make a living playing music and singing and playing guitar, but also, am focusing on my recording career as well.